volunteers traveled from Sydney to Kempsey to distribute cash cards to fire-affected residents. The recent shortage in masks caused many people to make their own masks. We find out if they are safe. Welcome to DaAi Headlines, I'm Simon Gan. Thank you for joining us. In Australia, forest fires continue to cause damage. Tzu Chi volunteers have travelled from Sydney to Kempsey to distribute cash cards to the affected residents and further understand their needs.
Live in different parts of the New South Wales. In fact, they all come from many parts of the world. But we all live in Australia. We all love this land and the people living here.
In the aftermath of forest fires, green leaves grow on branches again. Despite having lost everything, William is still resilient.
It took me 30-odd years to get here, so now I'm here, I'm not going anywhere.
Although he can only stay in a minivan due to the fire disaster, William and many other people insist on guarding their homes. Tzu Chi Australia chapter volunteers travel from Sydney, driving for 4.5 hours to reach the heavily damaged disaster area of Kempsey. Along the way, they visit affected residents to deliver eco-friendly blankets.
You guys doing this to help us here, because I can't imagine what it would be like to totally lose my home and be in that situation. You're dealing with people that have been through that. So thank you for your kindness and coming to see me.
In addition to conducting home visits, volunteers also distribute cash cards to affected residents.
Today, we bring our love and our caring to you here directly.
City volunteers are also interviewed by ABC News reporter, sharing how they hope to provide much-needed help.
This organisation, with Madam Zhang Yang, has kindly given me the $850, which I am so very thankful for. I cannot tell you from my heart.
I've realised that there are people out there selflessly trying to help and look after us, so you don't really feel quite so isolated.
Despite the high temperature outside, the people here are surrounded by volunteers' love and warmth.
After the Lunar New Year, Tzu Chi volunteers and community members were originally invited to participate in the Spring Festival Blessings of Tzu Chi Monte Service Centre. However, because of the severe epidemic situation of novel coronavirus, everyone gathered together to pray for the elimination of the disaster instead.
The donation in the bamboo corn band represents love and blessings from the donors. This good deed is a usual practice for members of the public and Tzu Chi volunteers. Wu Changguang also worships the Buddha every day.
I stand in front of the Buddha to recite every day and wish all sentient beings to get rid of sufferings and become happy. All patients can be cured and sick people can recover shortly. Bless everyone.
Tzu Chi Monte Service Centre's New Year event of this year has changed to a blessing ceremony to pray for the world and safeguard everyone's heart to avoid panic.
We must have a pious mind. It is very good to have vegetarian food today. In fact, the best is to embrace vegetarianism every day and be a respectful and humble mind.
We hope to gather everyone's kindness to bless the earth and ourselves.
Concerning about the development of the novel coronavirus epidemic, Tzu Chi volunteers not only read the correct information and do well in personal hygiene, but also bless everyone to have peace of mind.
In response to the call from Master Cheng Yan, Tzu Chi volunteers all around the world launched a praying event. In Penang, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers as well as the medical staff and patients in dialysis centers prayed together for pneumonia patients. Even though they are in different religions and ethnics, they hope that the epidemic will be brought under control.
The novel coronavirus pneumonia continues to spread. Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter staff and volunteers have launched a praying event to bless and cheer the patients and the medical staff who are struggling with the disease.
我们在不同的国家 We're in different countries, yet we're staying on the same earth. Master Cheng often tells us that we're staying on the same land. Although we can do nothing, we can pray sincerely for the world without disaster.
Although the nurses and patients of the dialysis center have different religions and races, they have the same kind heart.
Thanks for the frontline medical staff. I hope that the novel coronavirus pneumonia will disappear shortly and the patients with pneumonia will recover soon.
We need to cherish our lives. Adopting vegetarianism is the best way to save the earth and human beings. I'll encourage dialysis patients to have vegetarian food for a meal first, then gradually change to have meatless diet. After eating it for a long time, you'll get used to it.
Pray that people will take care of their life. Maybe the scientists find out what is the vaccine and the treatment for them. If they can go back and then stay with the family. For those the family that already passed away, maybe they have a joy, or maybe they can meet in the heaven.
Everyone prays with sincerity and embraces vegetarianism, hoping that the epidemic will be brought under control soon and there will be no more disasters in the world.
In light of the recent coronavirus outbreak, Tzu Chi education centers in Penang have strengthened epidemic prevention measures, taking body temperatures of the children twice a day and promoting correct concepts of epidemic prevention.
Before entering the classroom, DaAi mothers help to take the temperature as well as check the oral and hand hygiene so as to strengthen the hygienic measures.
Now it's morning. Before lunch and going back home, we'll take the temperature of our children. If the temperature of a child is 37.5 degrees or above, we'll call his or her parents to take the child home to rest.
The new coronavirus epidemic continues to spread. Education centers strengthen hygiene and advocate health measures, letting the children know how to prevent and control.
Our main purpose is to let the child know that during this period they have to wash their hands frequently, wear a mask and do more exercises, eat more vegetables and fruits, and avoid going to crowded areas and pray.
We need to wear masks, drink more water, and wash hands frequently.
At the same time, the outdoor New Year activities are cancelled.
The big New Year event of our school, for example, going out to visit, is cancelled. We try to have small groups of activities at school.
Love yourself and others. Let's pray together for a world of no disaster.
The Taiwan Tima Northern Chapter came to the Luzhou Recycling Education Center to help the recycling volunteers by taking their blood pressure and asking them about their medications. Recycling volunteers in Neihu Recycling Station also wore surgical masks and had body temperatures taken to help stop the spread of coronavirus.
As usual, the recycling volunteers have their blood pressures taken when they arrive. However, there's one more step.
When we come here, we must wear the mask, and our hands must be spread with 75% of alcohol.
The epidemic has become widespread after the Lunar New Year, so the recycling volunteers are taking steps to protect themselves. The Taiwan Northern Chapter of Tima also comes to the Luzhou Recycling Station.
Because they always take the blood pressures at the recycling station, we can see the numbers in the system, and we will screen out those with higher blood pressures.
The doctors ask about their health conditions, including their blood pressures and also the medicines they are taking.
We focus on their problems on medications or why their blood pressures are still fluctuating even though they're taking their medicines. We'll look at their blood pressure numbers and give them advices.
I'm also very grateful to the master and the doctors because they are so nice and come to care for us.
When they do recycling to keep the earth clean, they will also take care of themselves, so there may be true safety.
In Taiwan, to prevent further spread of novel coronavirus, Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center is taking some special measures. Staff measured visitors' body temperature and sanitized their hands at 3 entrances. In addition, the medical center uses an infrared detector to detect visitors' body temperature in the main hall. If the visitor's body temperature is more than 37 degrees Celsius, the system will sound off. Let's take a look.
The body temperatures of the visitors and the temperature of the coffee in their hands are detected precisely, while in Tzu Chi medical centers using an infrared detector to measure visitors' body temperature to prevent the spread of virus.
This detector is imported from Denmark. It is the same type of detector as the one used in the airport. When the visitors enter, if their body temperatures are abnormal, it will show immediately. This way our temperature measurement can be precise and we can prevent the spread of the virus.
To prevent further spread of the virus, Hualien City Medical Center staff measure the visitors' temperatures at 3 entrances. When it is not administrative staff's working hours, city volunteers help measure visitors' temperature.
Since the staff have not come to work, we as volunteers come to help out during the shift. We're happy doing this. We are truly happy that we can serve the public.
The earliest shift is 6 to 8 a.m. and the latest shift is 5:30 to 9 p.m. Volunteers take the initiative to serve during these hours.
We provide protective gear according to the standard of Taiwan Centers for Disease Control. They will wear barrier gowns. We are very grateful. As we work in Tzu Chi's affiliate, we are very fortunate to have the companionship of volunteers.
Medical center staff also remind the public to wash their hands frequently and maintain sanitation to prevent the further spread of the virus.
Many people feel they need surgical face masks to keep them safe during this epidemic period. Unfortunately, a shortage of them means that many people have to make their own or reuse face masks. Doctors say these innovative masks don't meet safety requirements and still encourage everyone to take every precaution to safeguard their health.
On the internet, there are many pictures of Chinese people being quite creative when it comes to the current face mask shortage. Online, a few people are even circulating a DIY tutorial video which shows how to make a mask out of paper towels. But is this really effective?
The material used is porous and is not enough to filter bacteria, microorganisms, and even viruses. So a homemade mask may look like a real thing, but it can't perform the actual effect of a surgical mask.
Additionally, there are reports on the internet that a UV sterilizer can be used to cleanse previously worn masks, or simply putting them outside in the sunshine for a few days before reuse.
We don't recommend or agree with this practice. After it is wet, the internal structure will be affected, and UV sterilization or steaming with a rice cooker may affect the structure of the mask, making it unable to filter bacteria, microorganisms, and viruses.
Doctors say that facial masks are just one way to prevent epidemics. Washing hands frequently is another key to avoiding infection. People don't need to wear medical masks all the time if they don't enter medical institutions and have no symptoms of respiratory infections.
To ensure the health of volunteers, Dharma masters in Jingsi abode made 100 buckets of hypochlorous acid liquid, which can be used to replace bleach and alcohol to sanitize hands. It is not harmful to skins and can kill bacteria and viruses effectively. They are all on their ways to recycling stations all over Taiwan.
Facing the epidemic spread, volunteers will wear masks while doing recycling.
The novel coronavirus was caused by eating wild animals, so we should stop eating meat.
There are milk and coffee in the bottles. I wash my hand after touching this.
Volunteers moved the 20 liters buckets onto the truck to send the love from Dharma masters in Jingsi abode to recycling stations all over Taiwan.
The master has reminded recycling volunteers to wash their hands often while doing recycling and sanitize their hands to avoid the virus spread through mouth or nose.
细菌啊，然后碰触到口鼻。
这是师傅的爱心嘛，伊调工，师傅调工做这吼，要互咱消毒。
This disinfectant liquid can replace alcohol and does not harm the skins. There are about 100 volunteers in Central Recycling Station, and the 2 buckets of disinfectant liquid is enough for everyone.
This is a so-called magic liquid on the internet, the hypochlorous acid liquid. It's made from salt and water. It's easy to make, yet also very effective in killing viruses.
有啊，安心啦，嘿，真好啦。加真安心哦，这保护咱家己嘛，保护别人，真好嘿。感恩师傅啦，照顾阮这。好的。
Team and medical team also stationed to prevent the virus spread and safeguard everyone's health.
In Dongshan District, Tainan City, a grade 2 boy surnamed Zheng is being closely monitored by social services. His home has a large amount of garbage outside, and Tzu Chi volunteers have been asked to help the family clean up the environment. They will also continue to care and bring warmth to this family.
After getting the approval from the care recipients, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately sort out things in the garden.
The grandma of the care recipient has injuries in her legs and spine, so she has mobility problems. The care recipient's brother and sister are too young to clean up this area.
Grandma is also very happy to have such an opportunity to make her home more comfortable. After getting Tzu Chi support, this family becomes stable and warm.
The care recipient, surnamed Zheng, is a teenager who is in a family under close supervision by the Social Affairs Bureau. After referral to Tzu Chi, volunteers are mobilized and the family members of the care recipients are invited to learn how to clean. Members of the community also take the initiative to help.
Do more if we can.
We will do what we can to make them feel being cared for. We want to inspire more people to join this team.
Seeing that the cluttered outside becomes clean, Grandma smiles happily. Volunteers will also visit her regularly in the future, hoping that the children can grow up happily in a clean environment.
Tzu Chi Clinic of Traditional Chinese Medicine was invited for the second time to join the Lunar New Year celebration at Humber College in Toronto on January 28. Tzu Chi volunteers in Toronto also supported this celebration by setting up booths to introduce the traditions of Lunar New Year to everyone.
The Taiwanese Aboriginal dance is energetic and passionate, while Tzu Chi Sign Language song passes on Tzu Chi culture. This is the second time for Tzu Chi Clinic of Traditional Chinese Medicine in Canada being invited to join the Lunar New Year celebration at Humber College. Students from other countries have never seen their Chinese names being written on red paper, so they enjoy writing their Chinese names.
When they received their names written in Chinese, they found it amazing, and they also like it very much. They furthermore praised the profoundness of Chinese language.
People also experience the games that Chinese children played a long time ago, such as sandbags and shuttlecock.
When we showed the students how to play these games, they were all very enthusiastic about the games. And although these games are very simple, everyone loved playing them.
The students also experience what the traditional Chinese medicine is, broadening their horizons.
In our following report, we're going to take a look at how Tzu Chi started Tzu Chi's mission of charity in 1966.
Saving up a handful of rice from every meal to help the needy. This is a common practice in many farming villages in Myanmar. In 2008, Cyclone Nargis devastated Myanmar. Tzu Chi volunteers quickly went to carry out relief and gave out rice seeds to help affected farmers recover from the disaster. To pay love forward, a farmer started to grab a handful of rice before cooking and save it in a jar for the poor. Through word of mouth, more and more people took up the practice. Today, over 1,500 farming households in 33 villages are saving up rice every day to help people worse off than them. Every month, these farmers can pool together over 3,000 kilograms of rice, which are then distributed to more than 50 families in need. How did this practice of the poor helping the poor get started in the out-of-the-way places in Myanmar? The answer is Tzu Chi, Taiwan. In 1966, Dharma Master Zheng Yan founded Tzu Chi to carry out charity work. To collect funds for the work, the master came up with an ingenious idea. She asked her 30 followers, who were all housewives, to put aside 50 NT cents from their grocery money every day and save the money in a bamboo coin bank. At the end of every month, they collected everyone's savings to help the poor. As the 30 housewives shared what they were doing with others, more and more people were inspired to do the same. With more funds, Tzu Chi was able to help more people in need. Like ripples in a pond, the practice soon spread across town as people realized that doing good was as simple as that. Over 50 years later, today, the practice is not just followed by Tzu Chi volunteers only. Wherever they go to carry out relief around the world, the volunteers will share the practice with those they help, hoping to let them understand that everyone, rich or poor, can give. With this cycle of love, Tzu Chi gradually reached out to more and more areas of the world. As of 2019, Tzu Chi has set up offices in 62 countries and regions and brought aid to 100. For overseas Tzu Chi volunteers of Chinese descent, Master Zheng Yan always reminds them to give back to the countries they call home through carrying out Tzu Chi's missions locally. She also encourages them to collect funds themselves and use the local resources they can gather for the work they do in their countries of residence.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Kaohsiung distributed Jingsi aphorisms and promoted vegetarianism to educate the public the correct way to fight against the recent coronavirus epidemic. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.